So this is one example situation where we actually use Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so guys, when you are doing problem solving question, you have to read through the question and understand what the question wants you to do. So that's the reason why I highlighted certain part of the question, because this is where you get the clue to solve the question. Okay, and of course, after you saw me doing all these lines and so on, okay, you would understand this question. We can use Pythagoras theorem because you can look at the shape. So the shape is a triangle. Sebab triangle shape ni, that is the reason. And then of course, all the buildings, okay, most of the buildings are built, okay, they are straight up. That means they are made with 90-degree angle. Tak ada bangunan yang sengit kan, semua bangunan tegar, right? Okay, so yeah, looking at that knowledge, okay, so you are supposed to find how long is the ladder. Okay, so bayangkan sekarang bomba tu, okay, bomba ni dia ada ladder yang boleh extend kan. Okay, so we are just imagining we are giving a solution to the fireman, okay, to the length of the ladder needed for him to save somebody who is on the 3rd floor. Okay, example lah. Okay, so when you actually put in into this formula, okay, or into this theorem, right, okay, you should know that this is C square. C square artinya kita belum nak cari ladder lagi, sebab ladder ni is given by C, not by C square. So that is the process di mana here we actually square root the whole thing. You square root the whole answer, where it will give you 7.5 meter. Okay, so remember when you are doing problem solving question, okay, the first task, okay, you have to always remember that you have to understand the problem. Okay, sebab tu I actually suggest to my students previously, okay, teacher suruh mereka bawa highlighter masa exam. Okay, so highlight your questions. So when you highlight the question, you probably will get a better idea because you're using a color pen. So color pen will make your visualization better. Okay, and when your visualization is better, probably the brain will get a connection of how to solve the question. Okay, so that is psychologically how it works. Okay, and then devising a plan. So before you once you have understand the problem, of course, bila dah tahu what's the problem, so your brain will start thinking. So it will start doing a plan. Okay, how to solve this? Like what I did just now, I drew the information. So whatever the information given, like macam 6 meter dengan 4.5 meter is not given on the diagram, betul tak? Sebab tu teacher convert dia ke diagram. So whatever in visual kan guys, if you macam example, if I tell you, okay, these are the steps to bake a cake, saya cakap dengan awak, mungkin you akan rasa macam masih tak dapat nak capture in your mind. But if I show you with photos, okay, these are the steps to make a cake. So I show you visual. So when I show you visual, you will have a better understanding. Sebab tu in maths, right guys, just remember, always visualize the questions given to you. Okay, so when you start visualizing the question given to you, you can see that you have 50% more chances of answering the question well. Okay, alright. So bila dah devise a plan sekarang, you have to know that implementing the strategy. So you kena tahu lah, okay, what is this topic connected to? You have learned so many things in your life. Okay, from Form 1, you have 13 chapters. So out of 13 chapters and whatever prior knowledge you have from Sekolah Rendah, okay, how are you going to solve this question? Okay, and then last is doing reflection. Reflection is generally, just to recheck your answers, mungkin you nak sembang semula, okay, betul tak my jawapan ni? So out of you get here 7.5, so dia buat 7.5 square ni, is it equivalent to 56.25? Okay, so dia tekan guna calculator 7.5 square, yes, it's 56.25. Okay, so macam sembang semula. Okay, alright guys, because you didn't hear the whole part of that example, so now I'm going to do for you example 5. Okay, so we will do example 5 together. Okay, the answers are here, but I'll just go through the answers with you. So example 5, in the diagram we have PVRQ. So where is PVRQ? So dengar you read, tapi in the diagram you kena identify mana. Okay, so here you may also use a you know, a pencil or a color pencil. Okay, so PV. Okay, so PVRQ. Okay, so now you can see it's actually a square. Okay, and RUTS. So RUTS is a square. Okay, calculate the perimeter of the whole diagram. Okay, one thing, bila dah tengok perkataan square, what you know about square? Answer in chat. What you know about square? The main criteria of a square. If you say square, okay, what is the first thing that click your mind? What you know about square? Anyone, guys? You may answer in the chat as well. If you don't want to unmute. Come on, clock is ticking. What do you know about square? Guys, first thing, bila tengok square, apa yang it will, what comes in your mind? No one answer. So in the chat, guys, you may use the chat, please. Has the same width and the length. Good. Thank you, Kamarul. Okay. Alright. So that means you put this symbol here. Okay. What does this mean? It means the length is equivalent. Okay. So in this case, this is 12. So this will be 12. VR. Okay. So I'm just going to highlight this line here so that VR is equivalent to 12. Okay. And then the next line that you have is RU. So remember, RU is connected to the square RUTS. So this is actually 16. Okay. So the question wants you to find the perimeter of the whole diagram. So the issue here is for you to find the value of VU. Okay. So tengok this is a triangle, right angle triangle, because you can see the symbol is already there to indicate it's a right angle triangle. So how do you find VU? Okay, so yang ni boleh jadi A dengan B, but remember as this is opposite, this is always C. So kita akan guna ni, C square equivalent to A square plus B square. So A square 12 square plus 16 square. Okay, what is 12 square? 144. What is 16 square? 256. Okay, so when you sum up, you will get 400. But remember, 400 is for C square. So what is the value of C? C is the square root of 400, which gives you 20. Okay, dah. This is the indication, guys. Okay, so have you answered the whole question? Belum lagi ya, because the question wants you to find the perimeter of the whole diagram. So where is the indication of the perimeter of the whole diagram? Okay, so let me just show you where's the indication. So I use a different colored highlighter just to highlight the perimeter that we are looking for. Okay, so okay guys, this is what they want you to find. Okay, the one that is in green. About you have to know lah what is perimeter, kan? So perimeter is the length of the surrounding of the diagram which is given to you. So all that which is green you have to sum up. Okay, so that's what happened here. So they started with 20. So 20, 16, 16, 16, 12, 12, 12. So the sum of this gives you 104 centimeter. Okay tak? Senang kan? It's actually easy, right? What do you think, class? Do you think it's easy? Okay, I think you yeah, okay, right? Okay, so I'll give you one more example. After this example, or maybe we'll just go on straight. I will do the quiz paling last lah sebelum kita end the section. Okay, so guys, let's move on to the next part of the chapter. Okay, the next part of the chapter will actually talk about the converse of Pythagoras Theorem. Okay, so how do you determine whether a triangle is a right angle triangle? So now converse means apa? Okay, artinya you dah tahu sekarang if it is right angle triangle, Pythagoras Theorem is you can use Pythagoras Theorem. Okay, sekarang kita akan belajar pula how to use Pythagoras Theorem to find out if the triangle is right angle or not. Okay, so let's go straight to the example, this exploration activity, right guys? So we just look at the conclusion or the what's the finding of the experiment, sorry. Okay, so just before that, a flashback. Okay, you have learned this before. Acute angle, remember acute angle? Remember I used to show you using my fingers, right? My thumb and my second finger. Okay, so an acute angle is less than 90. Okay, so when you have acute, right angle is L shape. Let me just buka video. Kejap. Okay, so if you still remember, okay, look at my screen. Okay, so kalau acute kan, ini adalah right angle L shape. Kalau acute kecil macam ni, okay, kalau obtuse is bigger, okay, is greater than 90 degrees. So you have to remember, reflection is like this kan. Ingat lagi kan teacher buat ni dalam kelas. Okay, so back to our screen ya. Okay, so you have to know what does that mean. Okay, acute, obtuse. So obtuse is more than 90 degrees. Less than 90 is acute. Obtuse is more. Okay, but less than 180. Sebab bila 180, it becomes a straight line. Okay, so let's look at this triangle. Okay, so guys, according to this, right, if you sum up the square of A and square of B, and the value is less than the hypotenuse, okay, so kalau the value of the angle is less than the hypotenuse, then the angle opposite to side C is the acute angle. Just give me a moment. Okay. Alright, sorry class. Okay, so this is the acute angle. Okay, and then kalau you get the value of A square plus B square is, okay, so angle of hypotenuse, nilai hypotenuse, the square of hypotenuse is greater than the sum of this. That means the angle opposite to side C. So this is side C. Okay, so if you look at this, let me just draw it. So if you look at this, right, guys, this is the angle which is opposite of side C, and in this case the angle which is opposite of side C. Okay, so that means kalau nilai C ni lebih kecil daripada sum of A and B square, okay, that means this angle is acute angle, means the value of angle is less than 90 degrees. Okay, but in this case, if you get the sum of A square, B square, when you compare with the hypotenuse, okay, when the value is greater, that means this angle C is an obtuse angle. Okay, so obtuse angle is more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. Okay, but when you get the value of C square, which is the hypotenuse, is equivalent. Kalau dia equivalent, that means that angle here is 90 degrees. So three types of informations that you can make, or what do you mean, conclusion that you can make out of this. Okay, so the converse of Pythagoras theorem states that C square is equivalent to A square plus B square, so that opposite angle to the side of C is right angle. Okay, so opposite of the hypotenuse is the right angle. Okay, class? Okay, so let's do this question, example 6. Determine whether each of the following right angles is a right angle triangle or not. Okay, so in order to know it's a right angle triangle or not, you only have to prove that using theorem. You hanya kena prove guna theorem sahaja. Okay, so what is A square? So mana satu is A? So you look at this, right guys, 25, 24 and 7. Ada 3 side, tapi tak ada 90 degrees. Bila tak ada 90 degree, you tak boleh nak kata which is the hypotenuse, betul tak? So in order to find, hold on, Washini, come here. Answer. Okay, alright. Sorry class. So sebelum ni we already learned in theorem Pythagoras, right? So there is 2 ways to find out if the line or the side given is hypotenuse. First way is if you know the angle. If you know where it's the right angle, the opposite angle shows you that the side is a hypotenuse. Okay, dan satu lagi is the longer side. Okay, so remember, if it is a hypotenuse, it has the longer side. Okay, so let's see if this is the longer side. This is 25. So I assume, so we can assume that this could be C. Okay, and this can be A and B. A and B ni boleh campur aduk, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's do this. 24 square plus 7 square, do you get 25 square? Okay, so 24 square is 576. 7 square is 49. Okay, 25 square is 625. Okay, so you cuba add ni 576 plus with 49. Do you get 625? Okay, yes you do. So if you get 625, that means this is proven that DF ataupun 25 ni is the hypotenuse. Okay, bila dia hypotenuse, of course the opposite of this side will be a right angle. So sebab tu we can make a conclusion that DEF is a right angle triangle. Okay, so same thing goes here, class. Okay, so now you have 12, 20 and 18. So looking at the longer side, which is 20 centimeter, we can make the assumption that 20 centimeter is the hypotenuse. But is this a right angle triangle? That's the question. Okay, so jom kita buat. So 20 square is equivalent to 12 square plus 18 square. Okay, 12 square is 144. Okay, 18 square is 324. Okay, bila kita tambah ni, kita akan dapat 468. Tapi 20 square is equal to 400. Sama tak? Tak sama kan? So when it is not the same, that means this STU triangle is not a right angle triangle. So kita guna balik theorem to prove whether the triangle is a right angle or not a right angle. Okay, so far you have any questions, class? Do you have any questions? Okay, so if you don't have a question now, I have a question for you. Okay, so please look at self-practice 13.2a. Look at question number 1a. Okay, can you see if this is the right angle ke tak? Okay, kamu just check. Okay, buat sekarang class. Just do it on your own pace. Okay, so I'll give you maybe about 1 minute or 2 minutes. Okay, please solve this question now, 1a. Okay, you solve first, then I will show you the method on how to solve the question. Okay, can I have your answers, class? You may put your answers in your chat box as usual. Okay, so okay, yes, I can see Kamarul has answered. It's a right angle triangle. Any other answers, or do you all share the same answer? Do you all share the same answer? Yes. Okay. All right. True. Okay, so the answer is right. Okay, so let's check. Okay, so you have 17, 15 and 8. So of course the longer side is 17. So we will make an assumption. Mula-mula assumption dulu ya, sebab kita tak buktikan lagi. So we will make an assumption that 17 is C, or the hypotenuse. So let's check on it. Okay, so that means 15 square plus with 8 square, you have to see whether you get 17 square. So guna calculator, or maybe you already remember the squares. Remember, I told you to remember or memorize, not memorize, just to understand what are the square number and the cube numbers, right? Kan? So kalau dah tahu benda tu, okay, maybe you can try to make a connection. Okay, 225 plus with 64, yes, 289, 289. That means the value is the same. This will become, okay, a right angle triangle. Senang, okay. So, okay tak guys? Very easy. This chapter is teacher punya favorite sebab it's very easy. Okay, alright. So guys, knowing all this information, okay, teacher nak add a few things sahaja. Okay, look at the formula again. So when you are looking for C, C that means A square you have to plus with B square. Okay, imagine you have a question where you are given 17, you are given 15, but you have to find what's the value. Okay, kalau you are finding any of the side, horizontal or the vertical side, this is how you can deal with it. So a square will be c square. Kenapa c square dekat depan? Because that's the longest, yang paling besar, tolak dengan b square. So same thing goes. If you are looking for a b, or the vertical horizontal length or the side, okay, it will be c square, the hypotenuse, subtract with the vertical. Okay, so ni cara you boleh manipulate the theorem which has been taught to you. Okay, alright. And furthermore, guys,